Welcome to Ganitika.com, a website for mathematics lovers, learners, and leaders. In the series of videos for IB, DP, Maths, AA, HL, and SL, we are going to solve past paper questions on binomial theorem in this video today. Before we proceed further, you should have a copy of this formula booklet with you. If you don't have it, please print it out and keep it with you now. And inside this formula booklet, you have the formula for the expansion of a plus b whole to the power of n using binomial theorem for SL students. In the same place, you also have the formula for n choose r, n factorial over r factorial times n minus r factorial. You know what a factorial is. So you can use this formula whenever you want to find any NCR in the expansion. So you have this formula in the formula booklet for standard level students, and for higher level students you have little more than this. You have combinations and permutations included inside the binomial theorem chapter, and you also have the extension of binomial theorem in a slightly different way. The expansion for a plus b whole power n for HL is given in a different way, but you don't have to worry about it. It's the same thing that is given in the standard level, so you can use the expansion that's given in the standard level. There is no need to actually use this expansion given for higher level. And in the case of higher level, you will be having most of the questions in paper 1 because you know how to find the coefficients NCR in the expansion. You have combinations as one of the chapters in your syllabus. So you should be knowing how to find NCR. Another difference that you should have noticed here is that for a standard level students, the n belongs to capital N only, which is the positive integers. So a plus b to the power of n, the power of this binomial can only be positive integers, which is natural numbers here. But for higher level students, you can have fractional powers. So this is the difference between standard level and higher levels on binomial expansion. You can also notice that this gives you the general term of the binomial expansion, NCR, a to the power of n minus r, b to the power of r. This is not given explicitly in the formula booklet, but you can take it from this expansion NCR, a to the power of n minus r, b to the power of r, which is TR plus 1. So make a note of this from the formula booklet. And also I think you have a book and a pen with you to work out the solutions. You better use the pen than the pencil, because using pen gives you more confidence than using pencil, as I have explained this in the previous video. Also, you need to have a graphing calculator with you for paper 2 questions. I hope you have all these things in front of you now, and you can start solving the questions that I'm going to give you just now. If you require more help on binomial theorem, you can visit the website Ganitika.com, and here is how you would use this website. Go to Ganitika.com, go to contents page. Under the contents page, you have topics listed here, and you can see that binomial theorem is one of the many topics that you have. So you click on this and you will be taken to the description of this topic, and you will have all these information here about the different types of units under the binomial theorem topic, and you can click on this page to go to the binomial theorem page. But in order to see what is written here, you need to register for the website first. In order to register in this website, you can click this register button, or you can use this tab to register. If you have already registered, you can use login, and you can log into this website easily with your username and password. But for registering, you just click on this register button. So for registration, you need to give a first name and a last name. You can choose whatever name you want to give in this, but you have to give a valid email ID because this will be verified. And then you have to choose a username and a password and confirm the password. These are the required things, but rest of the things are optional. If you want to give them, you can give them here, but you need to click on this send me updates, because you will be getting updates as and when I add a chapter to this website. And click on this I'm not a robot and register. Once you register, you can log in with your username and password. Once you have registered, you can get into the login page, and you can type in your email ID or username and type your password. Click on this keep me signed in so that you don't have to do this often. Then log in to the website, and you can see that your name appears here, and you can go to the content page again and then go to binomial theorem and click on this page. You will see that you can read all the information, all the topics under the binomial expansion. You need to just click on this, and then you will be having some activities, examples, exercises, and everything. and you will be having the explanation on Pascal's triangle as well, and everything is there, and you can go to the top of the page and you can click whatever unit you want from here and learn it if you haven't learned the binomial theorem properly. So learn this topic first before you proceed with this video. First, we'll look into the possible standard level questions from past papers. This is the first question you will be dealing with, which is paper 1 question. For standard level, this will be the second question, which will be a paper 2 question, and this is third question, paper 2 again, and fourth one, paper 2. So these are the 4 questions I'll be dealing in this video for standard level students. The standard level students as well as the higher level students should be able to do all these 4 questions. You can pause the video here, try to solve all these 4 questions. Paper 1 without calculator and paper 2 with calculator. And for standard level students, you can have maximum of 40 minutes to solve these 4 questions. And for higher level students, try to solve these 4 questions within 30 to 35 minutes. And in this video, I'll be giving you the solutions in few minutes along with the marking scheme. So once you are done with the solution, you can check the marking scheme and check the solution as well. For higher level students, the questions are paper 1 here, paper 1 again. Most of the questions will be paper 1 because you know how to use combinations and permutations formula directly without calculator. And these 2 are paper 2 questions. So 4 questions just for higher level. As I said, paper 1 questions for higher level can be done by standard level students with calculator. So you can consider the paper 1 higher level questions as paper 2 standard level questions. And the first 2 questions can be done by the standard level students. So the higher level students can take around 25 minutes to complete these 4 questions, whereas the standard level students can take around 15 minutes to complete the first 2 questions with calculator. So if you are ready, we can proceed with the standard level questions first. I hope you have done them all and your answers are ready in front of you to check the solutions. The first question is for maximum 7 marks. Paper 1 question for standard level student. So the question gives you the Pascal's triangle 4th row. And you are supposed to find the 5th row from here, which is very simple. You have to just add these 2 numbers to get the next row in the Pascal's triangle. Do not forget to write the extremes with 1. So 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1 will give you the answer for question A. And for question B, it says hence or otherwise. So you can either use the answer from the part A or you can use any other method. You have to find the term in x cube. So you can expand this using the part A coefficients. So 2x power 5, 5 times 2x power 4 times 3. It's just the binomial expansion from the formula. And the third term is 10 times 2x power 3 times 3 square. What you need to note here is I'm not going further with the expansion. All I need to have is x cube term, right? So I'll stop here and I don't write the remaining terms in the expansion. You don't have to waste your time writing all the terms here because you need just x cube term. So extracting all the coefficients of x cube now, 10 is there. 2x the power of 3, which means 2 power 3 x power 3 is write them separately in the answer, and then you have 3 square. Simplifying all these numbers and writing the x cube, you will have 720 x to the power of 3. So this is the x cube term. So we wanted the x cube term in x cube is the question. Therefore the answer should be 720 x cube. If the question was coefficient of x cube, find the coefficient of x cube, then your answer would be just 720. So you have to make the difference here. Coefficient is the number connected with the term, whereas the term has both the numbers and the x part. So you have to be very careful in giving the marks. If you don't give the answer appropriately according to the question, you will lose the last mark here. So in order to find the term in x cube, you have to write 720 x cube. Both of them should be present in the answer. 720 as well as x cube should be present in the final answer. So going for the marking scheme, this question has A2 marks, which means you get either full marks A2 for writing 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1, or you don't get any marks at all. Even if you make a small mistake of not writing the 1 on either side, you will lose both the marks. So be careful in writing all the numbers 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1 carefully so that you will get all the marks for this question. So it's either 2 or none. Going to the question B, method mark for expanding correctly. Again, writing the formula from the booklet will not be giving you method mark. Method mark is given only for using the correct formula and substituting the values correctly into the formula. This is the method mark. And writing the expansion of the term x cube 1 by 1 gives you 3 marks here. Lot of marks for just writing down the coefficients of x cube properly. Here there is a possibility of making an error. You might have forgotten to cube the 2 here because it's 2x to the power of 3. If you forgot to write the bracket for 2x, you would have lost that a1 mark here, 2 power 3 x power 3 and then 3 to the power of 2. So all these things carry 3 marks and the final answer is 1 mark, a1 mark. But this final answer again, if you wrote it as a 720 alone, you will not get the mark there. You should have written 720x cube in order to get that last a1 mark. I hope this is very clear for you. Take a note of all the information that I gave you and the tip that I gave you here. Method mark will not be got if you just write the formula from the booklet. Take care of the brackets for the terms 2x to the power of 3 and see what the question is asking you for. Accordingly give the answer. So these are the tips that you need to carry from this question. Next question is for 7 marks and this is a paper 2 question for standard level. So you can take the calculator and keep it ready with you, and we are going to use calculator for this question. The question is, consider the expansion of, this is more complicated, 2x power 4. Remember 2 is not power 4, 2x power 4, x is only to the power of 4 plus x square over k to the power of 12. So 12 is a huge number, therefore we are using calculator for this. The information given in the question is the coefficient of x power 40 is 5 times the coefficient of x power 38. So you need the term with x to the power of 40 and x to the power of 38. So let's use the general term formula here, which is NCR a to the power of n minus r, b to the power of r. A is 2x to the power of 4. 2 is not raised to any power. 2x to the power of 4. B is x square over k. So let's use these numbers. N is 12. So let's use these correct values into the formula so that we'll get the method marked correctly there. 12CR, again put the bracket for A and put the bracket for B. For A it is 2x power 4, the whole to the power of 12 minus r, be careful here. And B is x square over k to the power of r. So simplifying this, taking away the 2 separately from the x part, 2 to the power of 12 minus r and k to the power of r in the denominator. So that is another tip you have to have. Whenever you have a denominator in this formula, k power r becomes k to the power of negative r. So taking the denominator value to the numerator, the power will become negative. So that's the way you need to write for all these questions. Don't keep the denominator in the denominator. Take it to the numerator by changing the sign of the power. So k power r in the denominator becomes k to the power of minus r in the numerator, and collecting all the x terms together, x to the power of 4 times 12 minus r, x to the power of 2 times r, all of them collected together, you will get the power of x to be 48 minus 2r, and this can be easily done by you. So I don't need to explain how you got this 48 minus 2r from the powers of x. Going further, look at the question. We need x power 40 and x power 38, which means the power of x should be 40 and the power of x should be 38. But in the question we have the power of x to be 48 minus 2r. Equate that to 40 and equate that to 38, and solving the two equations you will get r equal to 4 and r equal to 5. So two values for r. And the question says the coefficient of x power 40 is 5 times the coefficient of x power 38. So just simply substitute the coefficients of x power 40 is here. When r equal to 4, the coefficient will be 12c4, 2 to the power of 12 minus 4, k to the power of negative 4 is equal to 5 times the coefficient of x power 38. For r equal to 5, you will get x power 38. Therefore, substituting r equal to 5, 12c5, 2 to the power of 12 minus 5, k to the power of negative 5. Simplifying this as you want. I'm not going to give you the simplification process here. You can simplify any way you want, but you have to make k the subject. Bring the k to the left hand side. Keep everything to else to the right hand side. The higher level students, those who are solving this question, try to do this without calculator from this point onwards and get the k value to be equal to 4. We know that 12c5 and 12c4 formulas for higher level students. So you can use the formulas, simplify this without calculator and get the value for k as 4. For standard level students, you can just simply use the calculator, plug all these values inside the calculator, and the calculator will give you the value as 4. So k equal to 4 is your final answer. Let's go for marking scheme here. Method 1 mark for, as I said, writing the correct information from the general term and substituting the correct information into the general term. and a method mark for equating the power of x to 40 and 38, and answer mark for correctly writing the expression for the power 48 minus 2r correctly, and A1 mark for finding the r values each, and another A mark for writing the expression properly with both the x power 40 terms and x power 38 term. The coefficient should be correctly written here, and finally the answer for K will give you one A1 mark. So all these things are the marks for this question, paper 2 for standard level, paper 1 for higher level. We'll go to the next question, which is for 6 marks, and paper 2 for standard level, possibly paper 1 for higher level. Number of terms is the question. How many number of terms is in this expansion? Remember, we are not asked to find the actual terms, so do not expand for this question. This is just for 1 mark. And we know that in the expansion of a plus b to the power of n, we have n plus 1 terms, right? Therefore, this is power of 10. Therefore, there are 11 number of terms in this. Therefore, the number of terms in this expansion is only 11. So, this is the only answer you need to give for this question A. Going to question B, coefficient of x power 8. So, we will use the general term NCR a to the power of n minus r b to the power of r. In this case, a is x square, b is 2 over x. Use the brackets correctly, and the n value is 10. So, using the brackets correctly and substituting a as x square, b as 2 over x, and n as 10, this is what you will get. And collecting all the constants together and x's together. Remember, x is in the denominator in the second term. So, x power r becomes x power minus r. You can see that everything is separated, and 10cr, x power 20 minus 2r, 2 to the power of r, and x to the power of r in the denominator becomes x to the power of minus r in the numerator. So, collecting them all in this way and writing the constants together and x power together, we'll get 10cr 2 power r and x to the power of 20 minus 3r. Looking back into the question, you have to have x power 8. Therefore, you have to equate this to 8 and find the value of r to be equal to 4. Now, once you find the value of r to be equal to 4, look at the question again. We are asked to find the coefficient of x power 8, not the term. So, pick up the coefficient. Coefficient for this is 10cr 2 power r. That's the coefficient. Substituting the r value as 4, 10c4 2 to the power of 4. Value is 3360. Because this is paper 2 for standard level, you can use your calculator to find this value. For higher level, you know how to find the value for 10c4 without using calculator. So, you can still find this value without using calculator for higher level students, considering this as paper 1 for higher level students. And remember, you are supposed to give the coefficient. Looking back into the question, coefficient of x power 8 is what is wanted. Therefore, you are given the coefficient just 3360 and no x power 4 there or x power 8 there. So, like going for the marking scheme, 1 mark for giving the answer 11 terms, just the answer 11 terms, and method mark for using the correct values into the correct formula and writing the correct expression in the expanded form, and finding the value of r to be 4, that carries an A1 mark, and the final answer for writing 10c4 2 to the power of 4. This is not final yet. You have got a final answer mark for writing the correct value 3360 as the coefficient of x power 8. So, you are giving the coefficient alone. If you wrote it as times x power 8, you will not get this last mark. 3360 alone, not 3360 x power 8. Note that the last A1 marks are always for understanding whether you have to give the term or the coefficient. Underline the word coefficient or the term as given in the question. So, be careful what type of answer you have to give for each of these questions, and do not lose this A1 mark in the end. Let's proceed to the next question, which is for 7 marks, paper 2 for standard level. Let's proceed with the question. The expression looks little bit complicated. X cube times 1 over 2x plus x square to the power of 15. There are 2 factors in this expression. X cube is one factor, power of 15 is another factor, but we are asked to find the exact value of the constant term. The moment you see the word constant term, what should strike your mind is that you are looking for x power 0 term, right? So, this is what you will get into your mind the moment you see constant term. The power of x is supposed to be 0 if you want the constant term. And here it is not single expression, you have 2 expressions. There is an x cube here, there is another expression. Therefore, from this expression, if you can find the coefficient of x power minus 3, you are going to finally find the coefficient of x power 0 in all, right? X power 3 times x power minus 3 will be x power 0. So, from the second term, you need to look for the coefficient of x power minus 3. So keep this in mind. You are not looking for x power 0 anymore. You are going to expand the second part alone and you are going to find x power minus 3 coefficient. So let's consider the second part. 1 over 2x is a, x square is b, 15 is n. So using the general term, you will write 15 CR 1 over 2x power of 15 minus r. Remember, both 2 and x are in the denominator. Again, being careful on the denominator part, 2 is in the denominator, power is 15 minus r. Taking the 2 to the numerator, the power will be of opposite sign. So 1 over 2 15 minus r will be 2 to the power of minus 15 plus r. The same way x will be minus 15 plus r on the numerator. And the next x part is positive, therefore x to the power of 2r. Simplifying this with all the coefficients together and x parts together, you will get 15 CR 2 to the power of r minus 15. I am just rearranging minus 15 plus r to look good, r minus 15. And collecting all the powers of x, you will get 3r minus 15 for the power of x. And now we are looking for what? X power 0 or x power minus 3. It is not x power 0, it is x power minus 3, right? So 3r minus 15 should be equated to minus 3. Remember, not 0. Therefore, this will give you r is equal to 4. So the coefficient is here. Substitute the value for r as 4 in this coefficient. You will get 15C4 2 to the power of negative 11. You cannot leave the answer as it is because the question is asking for exact value of the constant. So the constant term will be 15C4 divided by 2 power 11. So you might leave this here and you can go for the marking scheme. Looking for x power minus 3 in the second part is a method mark, and writing the correct expression from the formula and substituting the correct values into the formulas will give you M1 A1 mark. Finding the r value, of course, will give you 1 A1 mark, and substituting the r value in the correct places and simplifying the two terms 15C4 and 2 to the power of negative 11 gives you 2 marks actually, A1 and A1 each. And finally, you have to look for the question. The question is asking for exact value. And you might leave the answer as 15C4 by 2 power 11. But remember, this is a paper 2 question. So you have not used your calculator yet. So you are supposed to give the answer in proper way as a fraction. So 15C4 using calculator will be 1365. 2 power 11 using calculator will be 2048. Therefore, using calculator, you will get the answer as 1365 divided by 2048, which is the exact value. You are not simplifying this further into a decimal number. That's where you stop here. The difference here is you are still using your calculator, but you are not giving the answer in decimal form. You are not approximating the answer. You are giving the exact value in fraction form. So you have to be very careful for this question. Exact value is not 15C4 divided by 2 power 11. If it was paper 1, you could have left it here. But since this is paper 2 question, you have to simplify this to the numbers using the calculator as a fraction. I hope this is very clear. Be careful with what type of answers you should give. In all these questions, again I am insisting, the final answer has an A1 mark just to test you whether you have understood what type of answers you have to give for the appropriate question. So let's proceed further. So let's now move on to higher level questions. Some of the higher level questions can be done by standard level also. In higher level, it will be given for paper 1, whereas for standard levels, the same question can be dealt with paper 2. So let's move on to higher level questions now. The first question is for 4 marks and it is a paper 1 question for higher level. The same question can be done by standard level students with paper 2. So you might be able to use your calculator to do this question, while higher level students cannot use the calculator. So let's proceed with the question. It says coefficient of x power 8 in the expansion of. This is what you have to find. And therefore you will use the general term formula. So the n is 7, so 7CR, x square is a to the power of 7 minus r, so x square to the power of 7 minus r, and then you will have b to the power of r. In this case, you have to be careful here. The binomial has a negative sign in between them, a minus b the whole power 7. Therefore, the b part will be a negative number here. So negative 2 over x to the power of r. This negative number should be inside the power of r. You have to be careful here when you have minus between the binomial here, a minus b the whole power 7. So the minus goes with the b part. Therefore, b here is 2 over x, but it will be taken as negative 2 over x to the power of r. And this negative will be taken with the coefficient. Therefore, we will connect 7CR and negative 2 to the power of r together for coefficient. And then we will collect all the x terms. So the power of x is 14 minus 2r from this first part, and x to the power of minus r from the second part. Because x is in the denominator, that will be x to the power of minus r. Therefore, the expression will be 7cr negative 2 to the power of r. Careful with negative 2 and whole power r. Because if r is even, you will get this as positive number. If r is odd, the answer will be negative. So you have to be careful to put that minus inside the bracket for r. And then x to the power of 14 minus 3r. So in this case, we are going to find the coefficient of x to the power of 8. Therefore, 14 minus 3r should be equated to 8. And then finding the r value for this, it will be equal to 2. And therefore, the coefficient of x power 8 is this. Using this, you will see that coefficient of x power 8 is equal to 7c2 times negative 2 to the power of 2. In this case, since r is equal to 2, you are going to get the coefficient as a positive value. Therefore, using the formula NCR is equal to NPR over r factorial, we will have this 7c2 to be equal to 7 times 6 divided by 2 times 1. Again, at this place, standard level students can use calculator, and for higher level students, since you have combinations as your part of your syllabus, you should be able to do this without calculator. So simplifying this will be 4. So this will be equal to 84 in all. So 84 is the coefficient of x power 8. Be careful, we are giving the coefficient of x power 8, not the term. This will be the term. 84 x power 8 should not be the answer. You will not get the last mark if you write this as 84 x power 8, because the question is asking only for the coefficient of x power 8. Let's go for the marking scheme. Writing the correct general term and putting in the correct values will give you method 1 mark, and finding the r value for r equal to 2 will give you an answer 1 mark, and substituting the r value in the correct coefficient for x power 8 gives you an answer mark a1. And be careful again, negative 2 to the power of 2 will also be included in this a1 mark, and the final a1 mark for writing just 84 and not 84x to the power of 8. So you have all the 4 marks. Very simple question. You might lose 1 mark if you don't write this 84 properly. And instead, if you wrote 84x power 8, you might lose 1 mark in this. So be careful about this. Let's proceed on to the next question, which is also paper 1 for higher level and paper 2 for standard level probably. So let's proceed with this. Coefficient of x to the power of 5 is equal to 63 is the question. Is the condition given in the question. We have to find the possible values of k. And since x plus k power 7 is a simple linear equation inside the bracket, we will expand this using the binomial expansion, and we'll stop here because we just wanted x to the power of 5 term. So we don't write the remaining terms. We will put dot 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 for the remaining terms, and then we will stop at this term where you have x to the power of 5. There is no need to write the whole expansion in this case. And you can see that 7c2 k square will give you the coefficient of x power 5. Therefore, the coefficient of x power 5 is 7c2 times k square, and this is going to be equated to 63 as given in the question. Now, all that you need to do is to find the value of k using this expression. K square is equal to 63 over 7c2. For standard level students, you can use the calculator at this stage and get the value for k square. But for higher level students, you will use this formula to find what is 7c2. As we did before, 7c2 is 7 times 6 divided by 2 times 1. Simplifying this, you will get 7c2 is equal to 21. Substituting that 21 in this place, 7c2 is equal to 21. Therefore, 63 over 21, which is 3, is going to be k square. Therefore, k is plus or minus square root of 3. Which one should you give? Plus square root of 3 or minus square root of 3? Let's go back to the question. Question is asking for find the possible values of k, which means you should have more than one value for k, which means you have 2 values here, which is the appropriate answer for you. So plus or minus 3, both the answers are correct. Let's go for marking scheme. Method 1 for correctly expanding x plus k whole power 7, and answer 1 mark for correctly writing the x power 5 term, and answer 1 mark for finding the 7c2 and substituting that for k square correctly for another a1 mark, and final a1 mark for giving both the plus root 3 and minus root 3 as the answer. So this is the marking scheme for this question. This is another simple question for paper 1 and paper 2 for standard level. Let's go on for the next question. Mark is for 6, and this is paper 2 for higher level students. Therefore, this will not be there for any of the papers for standard level. So this is all for standard level. From here on, it's only for higher level students. So the expression inside the bracket is just 2 plus x power n. Therefore, we have to find the coefficient of x cube, which is going to be 4 times the coefficient of x square. So we just need the x square and x cube term, which is going to be just second or third term here. So let's expand this because we have a simple binomial inside the bracket. Expanding this using binomial expansion, we will get 2 power n plus nc1 2 to the power of n minus 1 times x plus nc2 2 to the power of n minus 2 x square plus nc3 2 to the power of n minus 3 plus x cube. Will you proceed further? No, we don't need any more terms here. We just need the x square and x cube terms. So we stop with this term. We put dot 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 after this and we will pick up the coefficients of x square and x cube from this term. Now you be careful about the question. Question is saying coefficient of x cube is equal to 4 times the coefficient of x square. Which is coefficient of x cube and x square? This is for x square. This is for x cube. So you have to be careful about swapping the x square and x cube terms. So first you write the x cube coefficient equal to 4 times x square coefficient. Simplifying, bringing all the n parts to one side, you will get nc3 over nc2 is equal to 4 times 2 to the power of n minus 2 divided by 2 to the power of n minus 3. Simplifying the right hand side, the answer is going to be 8 on the right hand side. So you have the equation nc3 over nc2 is equal to 8. You can use nc3 over nc2 with the formulas for nc3 and nc2 because you are higher level students, you know these formulas. And simplifying this nc3 over nc2 using these expressions, nc3 over nc2 will be equal to n minus 2 over 3. I'm going to show you the solution quickly. nc3 is this much, nc2 is this much, and dividing one by the other, you will reciprocate the second term and multiply and cancel the common terms like this, and therefore you are left over with n minus 2 over 3. So this is the working for nc3 over nc2 is equal to n minus 2 over 3, and you can proceed with the question now. N minus 2 over 3 is equal to 8, giving you n equal to 26. Actually, since this is paper 2, you can also use calculator to solve nc3 over nc2 equal to 8 directly. You can either use the graph or the equation solver to find the value of n to be equal to 26 without using the formulas for nc3 and nc2. You can use the formulas if it was in paper 1. Since this is in paper 2, you can directly use calculator and find the value of n equal to 26. Writing the expansion correctly will give you one method mark. Writing the x square and x cube term, one answer mark each. And writing the equation correctly from the given information, one answer mark. And the final method mark and answer mark for solving nc3 over nc2 equal to 8. Let's proceed for the next question. This is for 5 marks and it is for paper 2. So you can use your calculator again. Consider the expansion of 3 plus x square power n plus 1. In this you have got coefficient of x power 4 is 20,412. You have to find the value of n. So the power is n plus 1. So it's easier to use the general formula. N plus 1 CR. 3 to the power of n plus 1 minus r. In the place of n you have n plus 1. X square to the power of r. X square is b, 3 is a. Luckily you don't have minus in between them. It's just plus. So you don't have to worry about it. So n plus 1 CR, 3 to the power of n plus 1 minus r, x square to the power of r. Now look for the question is asking for coefficient of x to the power of 4. Therefore this 2r should be equal to 4 and giving you r equal to 2. So using this on the coefficient, you'll get n plus 1 C2 times 3 to the power of n plus 1 minus 2 will be equal to 20,412. So this is the coefficient, not the term. You don't use the x power 4 there. Only the coefficient should be equated to 20,412. You can simplify this as you want. This is n 3 power n minus 1 for 3 power n plus 1 minus 2. And then simplifying this using n plus 1 C2 formula, n plus 1 times n over 2. Remaining stays as it is. You can multiply by 2 on both the sides. Simplifying the left hand side, this is the equation you will get. At this stage, you cannot do this analytically. You have to use your calculator. You can use either graph or equation solver. I would prefer to use graph because in equation solver, you will be asked to guess the range of values of the solution, which is going to be very difficult to guess. Therefore, I would prefer to use the graph. You have to graph this equation. I would take the 40,824 to the left hand side and make it as equal to 0 so that I can find the intercept here, which is easy to find. Instead of using both the sides as two different functions and finding the intercepts, it's easy to make it as one equation and find the x-intercept. And another thing you have to be careful here is that the range of y values should be negative 50,000 to 50,000, because the y-intercept is going to be 40,824. So this is a simple calculation that you need to do so that you can get the whole graph inside your home screen. Now we are looking for the x-intercept of this equation, which is equal to 7. Therefore, the n value is equal to 7 in this case, which is very simple to do. For a 5 mark, it's a very simple question if you are able to use the calculator efficiently. Now method and A1 mark for using the correct general term formula and substituting the correct values into the formula, writing the equations correctly and simplifying the equation correctly from the given information, M1 and A1 mark. A1 mark for the final answer for n equal to 7. You can use, as I said, either equation solver or graph, that doesn't matter. Whatever method you used, you should get n equal to 7. For that, you will get one A1 mark. And that's all for here. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got some information and tips from this video for your examinations. Until we meet in the next chapter, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like and share my videos with your friends and families, and look for the next video coming up with another chapter for past papers for both higher level and standard level students. Bye bye.